My name is Seethram, and as Laura said, I'm a grade 12 student at Rockridge Secondary School. I'm excited to be speaking with all of you today because last year I was given a beautifully unique learning experience through the West Vancouver School District's premier Environmental Science Academy. I was allowed the opportunity to be mentored by scientists and teachers that have inspired me and deeply altered my worldview. But first, it is important for me to say that my vivid education did not, in fact, begin in a classroom. It first sprouted and flourished at the hands of my two loving parents, who taught me to be hardworking, to be kind, and to be accepting. It was at home that I learned the importance of ambition and perseverance in the face of hardship. I was instilled with a love of learning and an insatiable curiosity. And with the support of my parents, I decided to apply for enrollment in the West Van School District's first ever AP Environmental Science Academy. I still recall sitting in front of Mr. Harding and Mr. McDonald, who are here tonight, Mr. Harding and Mr. McDonald over there, and Miss Nelson at Sentinel School on Valentine's Day 2018 to interview for the Academy, and I became confident that I was in the right company. At its essence, our program was intent in exploring the need for human relationships within the scientific world. Our classes were held in the conference room and later in the kitchen at the Pacific Science Enterprise Center, known as PSEC. This is on Marine Drive, and it's a Federal Department of Oceans and Fisheries Research Institute. This alone posed several interesting questions. 1, can high school students and nationally renowned scientists coexist? 2, can we learn from each other in a short period of time? And 3, all the kids wondered, what secret hybrid marine animals were they cloning in the high-security mesocosm building? Right from the beginning, my fellow students and I learned the importance of respect. Respect for the scientists, respect for their work, respect for the unceded Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish lands we were learning on, respect for the ocean, and respect for the heritage of the site and the Japanese pioneers who worked here when it was a cannery. It became clear to me that our course was not only meant to teach us about environmental science, but Mr. Harding set out to reestablish interdisciplinary connections within the world of education. What is interdisciplinary? We hear that word thrown around a lot, but Mr. Harding gave it a whole new meaning. He wanted to ensure that we would work together with the environment, with specialists, with other educators, and all of that would blend together into one giant fabric of knowledge. That's not just teaching, that's visionary. Our course was made from 3 main elements: the importance of learning, the opportunity to experience, and the implementation of the skills we had gained. The first frontier of our broad adventure into environmental science was, of course, learning. Our classes were set up seminar style. Mr. Harding assigned us chapters of the textbook or note packages that he had compiled and asked us to write detailed Cornell notes for our next class. These Cornell notes, while painstakingly tedious and long, taught me the difference between knowing and understanding. I learned from these pages of notes the art of synthesizing cross-curricular ideas. I became better and more efficient at being able to pick out key ideas and understand complicated diagrams. During our class time, we would be divided into groups, and each group would have the task of presenting to our peers on one concept from the chapter we had learned. This style of reflective and collaborative learning allowed us to explore different opinions and perspectives from various people with various styles of learning. These small class presentations were daunting at first, but as we became more comfortable with each other, they became a chance for us to show off what we had been able to glean from the textbook and compare our staggered levels of understanding. These seminar-style classes taught me that there is power in my own curiosity. I realized that my ability to learn is not limited to memorizing concepts and terms from a page. It is embedded in my need to experience science firsthand and share my ideas with others. One thing that was very hard in the learning, though, was Mr. Harding forcing us to think about extensions. How do we take a concept and push it sideways or upside down to extend the idea and be creative about it? Lateral thinking is never easy, but it solves a lot of problems. Here's an example. One of my academic journals was about our trip to Cypress Creek, on which we learned the laborious process of surveying streams. The connection and extension aspect of the academic journal forced me to look at how one could restore a stream. If you take away the bridge and the surrounding housing, would it return to its original state before urbanization? Or would it only increase the damage done on stream organisms? For example, the bridge was providing shade for parts of the stream. Would another adaptation be required if the bridge were gone? And even if you return the creek to its original state, would it ever be the same? Or would it end up as something entirely new? This poses a critical question. Can the human race find a way to progress without forcing heavy adaptations on delicate environmental systems? The only way to find out the value of extension was to learn through experience. The overarching theme of our course was experiential learning. It is what set the Environmental Science Academy apart from other high school courses. Mr. Harding was diligent in organizing field trips and involving PSEC researchers to allow us to experience working in a real lab. One of our first expeditions was to the Iona Beach birding hut. Though it was pouring rain, our small group learned to identify different types of birds, to understand that birds are an important indicator species, and to appreciate the art of bird banding. There was nothing more critical to the ESA experience than getting out into the field. Other experiences included our interface with OceanWise at the Vancouver Aquarium and a paddleboarding lesson and introduction to the multifactorial ocean plastics problem with ocean ambassadors. Our biggest experiences were with hands-on science, running polymerase chain reaction gels in the lab, looking at transgenic salmon, and other experiments. The culmination of this was our final project, which was a design lab. We were split into groups and mentored by specific PSEC scientists depending on what our topic was. My group's topic was shoreline habitats, and we were mentored by two experts, Steve McDonald and Herb Herunter. Despite their busy schedules as funded researchers, they made time to meet with us, guide us, teach us the scientific method, and equip us for the type of work that we needed to do. They supported our learning in a way that no other education can give us. Steve McDonald and Herb Herunter quickly became our mentors, advisors, and our portal into the world of real science. I felt grown up, and I still do, thanks to them. Throughout the year, we had a few tests, including a hard advanced placement exam, and possibly this will help me get into the right program at the right university. But who cares about that really? Is that the important change? A good mark? I don't think so. I was changed by the Environmental Science Academy thanks to all of these guiding people and the district. I now see myself as a global citizen and as a scientist. I have a duty to change the throwaway mindset of our society, to contribute to sustainable energy technology development, and to work to implement rules restricting pollution and preventing further habitat fragmentation. The solutions that I and others come up with will impact my generation and those to come. As well, through Mr. Harding, I've also been able to get involved with local conservation efforts through a volunteer position at Lighthouse Park's Phil Mundy Nature Hut. As I continue to grow up and face the dire situation our planet is in, I am wary, but I'm not afraid anymore. Our class has proven that we are capable of change, and we are motivated to take what we have learned and build upon what can be done and what solutions we will discover. I leave you with a quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who noted, "If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather, teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea." Thank you.